Welcome, 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 everybody, to the Love Experience Show. I am your host, Ashley J. I am so happy to be back with you guys today and to have another live show. I know I've been playing a lot of replays lately, but some stuff has been happening in the background and I had to compromise. So that's what's going on. That's what has been going on. But I have a guest tonight and I'm really excited. So, before we get started, go ahead and like, share, subscribe to the channel so that you can be ready for the next episode, which will be next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, without further or any more delay, I would like to introduce my guest, Mrs. Cynthia E. Crawford. Cynthia, I am so glad you're here to join me tonight. I met Cynthia in a clubhouse room called Trucking God's Way. And shout out to Auntie Roz for putting me on and getting everybody to sign up for the show. So, Cynthia, you want to go ahead and tell the people about who you are and what is your love experience?
Sure. So her name is Cynthia E. Crawford. I, I am a child of God and that message through this journey of being the CEO of Authentic Existence. I'm a messenger about just victory. We are victorious, but that comes with us being whole. And so, as the CEO of Authentic Existence, I'm dedicated to helping you see who God by opening the eyes of your heart and then linking that with who inspired throughout the day. Most importantly, I am child of God. I said I put those in a particular order for a reason. I am the wife to Mary for 19 years. We just passed our 19th anniversary. Plan that big trip for the 20th, and we have two children, Sydney, who is 6, Raymond, who is 15. So I said, as far as I look forward to connecting with folks as I've connected with Ashley J and connected with other people through Clubhouse and other social media. So you can find me at Bone on your favorite social media outlets. And also Bold is the website. And that's important because came about, my name Cynthia has connotation to shield light. And the philosophy behind that is only when you're with Christ can you fully shine. And for many years, so this is the thing, the moon is always halfway illuminated. But that we have from Earth to see what phase it's in, and my light was not always brightly shining because I was trying to be just the director of where I was going on this journey when God did the call for me. So it was July 9th. We were at it's Greenfield Village. So I live in Metro Detroit in Greenfield Village. And we had went to the Right Cycle Shop. And my kids, 5 years ago, they were 10, 11. And they had like a narrator there. He was, if two bicycle, brothers with a bike shop can, go into aviation, like, what is it that you're going to do to put your mark on the world? And that thing in me, like, it made me know that I was missing my mark. I wasn't doing anything. I always want to be clear. It's like nothing salacious, just trying to be climb the ladder. But how I was going about it, and it was just very, very taxing to me. And so to get to your question of experience, my love experience was really coming to self-love. As I'm a confident person, I love myself grew up in. But I would really say it was the way my husband, Corinthians 13 love, that gave me a mirror of myself, because we look at love as a feeling, and we need to look at things in accordance with the word. And when I start looking at it, as, like I said, first being kind and patient and not boastful, have my own way,
Cynthia,
then things start opening up for me. Yeah.
sorry. I tried to send you a message. The audio is cutting in and out. I just got a comment about it.
Okay.
So we're missing. It sounds. I don't know how to say it. It's we're hearing you, but it's kind of not. It's not coming through clearly. So it sounds like you're
Okay.
jumping around from one word to another.
I'm going to cut my audio and camera, and then maybe I'll jump over to the browser and come back on.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry about y'all. Sorry about that, guys. We were trying to work on it before, and it sounded like everything was working okay. And obviously, as we start talking, it started to get choppy. So sorry about that. And she'll be back really shortly. But I am so glad that you guys are watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and to like this episode. The episode will continue. Just subscribe to the channel. We got to make some adjustments. And also, don't forget to share this episode. Get people to come and watch it with you, so that we can get some more faces to hear what Cynthia's story is, because it sounds like it was about to get really, really good. And I want to hear what she was going to say. And I want you guys to hear it too, and invite some people to watch with you. That'll be great. So yeah, I missed you guys. I really did. I missed you on this long hiatus. Y'all, maybe one day I'll tell y'all about what happened. But I missed you guys. And hopefully things will get together again more in the future. And next week I'm planning something I think something different for the show. We haven't had this before, and I'm excited to try it. But I also would like to get a few more people to join in on what I am planning for next week. So if you have any knowledge or know of anybody who has knowledge of what a soul tie is, send them my way. Okay. You guys can find me on all social media at It's Ashley JW, or you can have them send me an email. It's ashleyjw@gmail.com. And I'm going to schedule them for next week, because we are going to talk about, I already let the cat out the bag a little bit, but we're going to talk about soul ties. And I'm really excited about this. And this time kind of snuck up on me a little bit. So it's here, and I want to make it a big party. So y'all let me know if you have anybody that you know of that would be a good asset to this conversation. Excuse me. And we can have this wonderful discussion that everybody seems to like to talk about, but I don't know if everybody really understands what a soul tie is. But I'm going to close my mouth about it, because I don't want to give up too much of our discussion next week. Okay?
So we may
All
have
right.
to, I don't know, Ashley, what you want to do, but so sorry, guys, I have Mac devices. They're not responding to it coming up.
Okay.
This is live, so maybe we'll have to. Okay.
All right. So I mean, actually right now it sounds better. Y'all let me know. Does it sound better to you? It sounds better to me right now. I don't know what you did differently, but it sounds a little bit better. I'm sorry about this.
That's
Sorry.
okay. This is technology, and we did our best to prep,
We
and
did.
here we are.
Right. Okay. So you were getting ready to tell us about when you received the call, when God gets told you what he wanted you to do. And you guys were at a bike shop, I think you said.
So at Greenfield Village, yeah, that's an outdoor music replica of the Wright Brothers bike shop.
Oh, okay.
And so do shorter sentences, and you chime in and you let me know if good.
Okay.
But yes, so the narrators, because they reenact like things that happened back in the day, and I'm looking at you. If I'm trying to read your face.
I just saw a comment. They said it still sounds choppy.
Okay. Well,
Okay. We're here now. So we're just gonna try our best.
okay.
And I'm going to try to piece it together so that I can let everyone else hear what you're saying. So go ahead.
Okay. And so he was asking my children, if two makers can like do airplanes, to do to make your mark on the world.
Mm.
And so it was but it stirred it, it stirred me, which was clearly the Holy Spirit. There was more for me to be doing than what I was pursuing, and my pursuits were more just in the corporate space. The Lord had a higher call for me.
Okay. So they were, it was a replica situation, and they asked your children if tent makers could make airplanes. Is that what you said?
No, the Wright brothers did the bike, use what they were learning from making bikes to, apply that to aviation to make
Okay.
their mark on the world. So
Okay.
ordinary people doing extraordinary things, what was in them. And then that sparked for me, okay, I'm ordered to do something extraordinary here on earth, as the Holy Spirit, as to, okay, you're trying to just climb a ladder at your company, but I'm here for you.
So what was your job title
So
then?
I work for a more so I won't get into that piece
Okay.
of it. Though the call, so with authentic existence is that, like I said, helping you see you to be, and we only know how we're designing him to lead and guide us. So what for authentic existence right now, I'm currently writing my first solo book, The Blueprint to Authentic Existence. I'm not sure if you've heard the Blueprint speech by Martin Luther King Jr., but the first piece of that is like having your own somebodyness, and slash business is dedicated to, like I said, just really be secure in your own skin. A lot of times we have what I call the weight, puts a shell over us. We do what we think we're supposed to do. We present who we think we're supposed to. And this process has helped me to strip that and share that with the world, so that once we're living as designed, we can difference and an impact in the ways that he sees fit for us to do.
That's okay. That is so true. So when is your book going to be available?
That is an excellent question. When I started this experience, like I said, that was July 9th, 2017. it's a journal. Like I've always
Okay.
wanted to write a book, but it was just a journal. I
Okay.
journaled, and then he like stopped. It's time to get it in order, and I finished the manuscript year, and I've been working on the revision this year. I'm very close to being done, but the thing is that is as I've been stepping through the revision, it's almost like me through each of those chapters as I was going. So, my answer now is, in his timing, it is close, um, but his timing. But I subscribe to both at boldfullmoon.com. There's going to be a live with a lot of hallelujah when it is ready for you guys to order.
Okay. So I'm gonna put your website in the chat for them to check you out. Go to boldfullmoon.com, guys, and go support Cynthia. Subscribe to her website so that you'll be up to date with all of the happenings that comes with releasing a book. So I want to go back for a second. I know with when God is ready or he is preparing us for our journey, there are a lot of lessons that we learn in the midst of the preparation before we get to where God is taking us, before we even get to a place where we are, I guess I want to say like leaving our old life behind. I don't know if you're still in the corporate world, but a lot of times there's things that we have to learn. So, is there one lesson that he took you through for you to learn that you can talk about today?
Absolutely. I will say keeping like my kids, being a parent to my is similar to how God the Father looks at us. My daughter was like, "Why does your voice?" Because we've been home for the pandemic. She's
Right.
like, "Why does your voice change when you're like in meetings?" And I'm like, "Why does my voice change when I'm in meetings and stuff?" And what he has taught me is the vibration of his voice. There are certain people who need to hear it coming at the end, you know, how it's coming out. And I have been very, and then through this journey of developing my relationship with the Lord, and it is every day. The most important thing I can tell people is it's not like, okay, and then just magically that's it. Like, it is it's a day. And so every day I get up and I go and I seek him, and I ask him to guide me. So I have the confidence when I want, you know, because I'm at tables with in my position with people who like, what can mere humans do to me? And you know, but I also have to keep that lens of love as well. So it's a with the Lord and knowing the word, so that you have the confidence to know I'm coming with, I'm in this room, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, but also humble enough to love people. And that was that's another big thing. Not just pretending to love, because that's like being a minority in the space I'm in. You know, you have to be nice, but you know it's not genuine. But
Yeah.
genuine and authentic in every room and space I'm in. And so my voice will stay the same. And I want that to be for the generation I'm in, but also for future generations. So when my daughter goes things and my son does great things, they can do it in their authentic voice.
So is this your authentic voice that we have right now?
This is I think the thing about it is it's volume to it. It has inflection to it. It has tone. My voice doesn't sound similar to most of the voices I'm hearing all day. I started assimilating to my environment, but it's not to be conformed to this world.
Right.
And the more and more love comes in, when you get to see yourself how God sees you, accepts you, then you can be more comfortable with this sound. This is me. Like, no, I'm not. Thing too is when you're like in the position I'm in and you have to lead a group or you have to conversations. We have that stereotype of possibly being a woman, and you just can't worry about that, because if I know I'm not angry, if I know I'm point that somebody else can drive home the same way and it would not be looked at in a certain fact, that's just what's helped me to embrace it. And again, I'm not saying it's been easy, but it's not about feeling, it's about truth, because feelings are fleeting. So
they are. So okay, now with with the trip to Greenville
Village,
yes, with the trip there, and then during the pandemic, your daughter saying to you, "Why does your voice change when you get in a meeting?" to where you are now. How did the transition happen for you to start being authentically you and loving who you are, and just making the decision to be boldly who you were called to be, and not have to change into, which so many of us do, change into our work person and go back to being mommy and wife at home. Like, it's almost like we all have split personalities almost, because we have to present ourselves in so many different ways wherever we go. So how did you learn to marry who you are in all sectors of your life?
So the interesting thing about that trip, it was July 9th, during the pandemic, that I found out that was the date that my great father arrived here in this country. I'm a descendant of the Clotilda, the last slave illegally. And it made me dive more into my family history, now of who I am. But just learning that history, learning that he was not come from a jungle, just a lot of things, even what they were taught. The book is from Africa to Alabama, and OUF. I hope I'm spelling it correctly. But that was the lady who wrote the book, and I just started learning more about just the whole journey of America, what happened when they got here, even some of the I only focus on certain, that could be taken out of context with slavery and those type of things. Realize that there was a lot that had been over, and that coupled with, like I said, just really just the daily relate with the Lord, that all came together to start helping me to who I am and my difference that I bring here on earth, connected to heaven through the Holy Spirit. And just, like I said, learning more of my history helped me to it really, when you think of what has been overcome it helps you realize that, you know, right now what I'm speaking to you is just on Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand, and then you just have and do the things, even the hard things, because to pave the way for me. And I realize there's a lot paved the way for my kids and my children's children and the generations that will come after.
So I Googled the book, Dreams of Africa in Alabama.
Yes.
The slave ship Clotilda. I never ever heard of Clotilda. Never ever heard of anyone. Now where is Clotilda? I know it's in Africa, but where?
Ship. But they
okay.
Yeah. And actually my mom's name is in honor of the ship. But and my cousin just got back. They just did a journey back to our homeland. But my aunt Dahomey, which is now in Benin.
Really? Wow. Okay. So excuse me for not having any knowledge of this, because I did not realize that was the name of the shit. Okay. So wow. Okay. So,
but can I make a point right there, Ashley J? And that's the point. It's a lot of we don't know, like just in general, like things that have come out about American history recently. So when we can only be what we see, and that's what my business is about. Like I said, first of all, opening the products and everything is to keep you inspired throughout the day. And when we don't hear information, all we think is that we were always. But that's what I would say to bring your question full circle is power. And as you start to learn and unfortunately, I mean, they're more available now, but in the past, it was more difficult for us to learn more about our history.
Yeah. And just from this discussion right here, it really makes me think about the yearning that I've had and so many others in my family have had about wanting to know where we came from originally and who was in our bloodline. And just the simple fact that I'll speak for myself. The simple fact that I didn't know that Clotilda was a slave ship, that just made me think, wow, there's still a whole world of things that I need to learn about my heritage and learn so that I can truly, truly be my who I'm supposed to be and understand my bloodline. Like you were just speaking about your family's country is Dahomey. And okay, I'm gonna say this, and this is not to be rude or anything, but just watching The Woman King, right? And just watching that, I became extremely inspired from that movie. And because of that, I was like, man, it made me say, I wonder if maybe we had some family that was from there, because just to me, the symbolism of the women and that whole tribe was magnificent. And it was something that, completely opposite of what they tried to tell us about people from Africa and what they really were. Like they try to say that everybody that came from Africa is savages. That's what they want to teach you in school. But seeing movies like that, even though I know that there's a lot of dramatization in it, seeing movies like that, it makes you say, well, that's not what I'm seeing. And they had to have gotten their information to create this movie from somewhere. So maybe there is more to people who come from, who made this journey from Africa to here than what you guys try to feed us. So I don't know, maybe somebody else may feel differently, but that is empowering in itself for me. And it really does make me want to get a DNA test and find out who we are and where we came from. Um and not just a general area. Like, I want to pinpoint it. Like, I really want to know where exactly our family came from. So thank you for sharing that, because you really empowered me, and it made me think about bold in the name of your company, the name of your website. Bold, like you're knowing, you know who you are. So you're okay and have full rights and permission to be bold in every sense of the word. You can be bold because you know exactly who you are.
But I will say I know who I am because of Christ, and those who
Right.
never find out anything from what has happened. That's what we can do, and what we always can do is start today. That we get new mercies every morning, and just seeking who to me is the most important thing. And then when you do get that additional information, if he see have it, it does help you to go further. But if you never do know,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, in your process of getting all of that information, did that increase your self-love?
it did increase my. I find interesting was like before they came over, like so my father was like one the only Fons, the FON, and you think coming from Africa, they're all from the same area, and they were not, they languages. And but before they came, they were like, and this was big to me with Black women. Their heads were shaved. Hair had an importance in after down naked, and that was, of course, indecent. And
Mhm.
that just helped me to, because in the book I talk about the complexities of hair. Like my hair is completely, natural, and of course, for years, just experimented with different things. But now I am just more embracing as to, hey, how in every sense in the word of the word. So I will say with my identity, because I wasn't trying to cover up. Like I
Mm.
said, like now I'll go to work and I'll have my hair curly, or only I'll wear straight. But now it's not like I have to wear it straight because I'm going to know how to wear it, however I choose to wear it, not because I'm concerned I want to wear it that day because of how I'm feeling,
Mhm.
or what I'm doing with it, not because of what is the approval of someone else.
So, when you first decided to start wearing your hair natural,
Mhm.
was it a challenge since you were in the corporate world? Was that a challenge for you to say, you know what, I'm gonna just try to go ahead and rock out with my curly hair? Or do I feel like I really feel like I need to straighten it, but I'm gonna fight to make sure I don't straighten it just so I can prove something to myself?
It was a challenge. I mean, yeah, it definitely was a challenge, challenging, but it is something that is also being and necessary on my end. Like it was just something that was so one of the things, another thing, going back to that faithfulness, they were talking about George Washington Carver,
Mhm.
and he was stating how this agricultural bulletins, like, work with nature, not against it. if it's hot and humid, I'm gonna work with nature. I'm gonna go here.
Right, right. Because it's gonna curl up
I'm not going
regardless.
against. Yeah, I'm not winning those battles, so I'm gonna stick with, go with nature.
Right. But I ask that because I feel like that is so much, like you're stating, that's so much that's such a big part of being authentically you, with going in front of people who don't look like you and saying, making a statement with your hair. I'm going to wear my hair curly today, and I don't care what looks y'all give me. This is my hair and this is how I want to wear it. That is part of love, having enough confidence in yourself and loving yourself enough to not care, and to be able to go out there and wear your hair with confidence. I feel like that's not something that you really see a whole lot in corporate, because people are trying to fit into what they believe is the I don't know, what's the word I want to use, Lord? Oh my goodness. The norm, what the norm is.
But I won't just say corporate either. I think have been investigating is, and even like on the black, so on the opposite end, if it's not laid and slayed, like I don't have on lashes, and like I said, this is my hair, how it comes out once I braid and I work out, and I don't wear anyone. If that's what makes you feel beautiful, then fine. But there's pressure, like because we have been, there is a stand a certain way on the other side too. So when I say I'm being authentic and loving myself for God made me, I'm taking it from both sides.
Yeah, that's true. Because you will get those looks like, oh, okay, you just gonna look like that today. Oh, okay. You do get that. And just having both, being on both sides of the spectrum, or maybe just in the middle of the spectrum, you do have, it's like you have to have an extra layer of confidence and an extra layer of self-love, almost like it's an piece of armor that you have to wear to be okay with how you're presenting yourself to the world. And that's something that I really don't feel like a lot of people can have, or not that they can't have, but a lot of people don't know that they can have that.
They can have it. I'm glad you used to, as Ephesians 6 tells us about the armor of God. And like I said, when you get up every day and you do have to choose what you have. The Lord is leading you. Again, when I am saying one thing, I'm very clear. This is what the Lord has spoken to me, but I'm not hating on the next person for what the Lord has spoken. How they want to do it, how they want to rock. I'm with it. And one thing I think that I had to overcome, because I used to feel like it's either my way or the highway, and that's pride, and knocked down. That's a stronghold that will block everything that the Lord has for you. But that's the thing. A lot of folks are like, well, this is how I do it, so this is how it should be done.
Yeah.
Everyone has, like you said, their lane carved out to be, and I'm just staying in my lane.
Yeah. That's so good. So what would you tell someone who is struggling with their identity, who is struggling with their confidence, and they may have a lack of love for themselves? What would you tell them to help them see themselves differently, see a different perspective of who they are?
So what I would tell them, you are loved. You are definitely love because God so loved the world, he begotten Son. So the first step is salvation, and that's believing in your heart for us, and God raised him from the dead. So believing your, I'll say hearts and lips. So believing your heart, confess number one, and after you make that initial confession, like I said, it's important to is a daily journey, and I harp on that because okay, so you guys, when you go to the blogs, okay, so let me just do a little detour really quickly.
Okay.
Read the blogs. The blogs are free. When I launched the business, I said I will aspect to use the gift that God gave me. So read the blogs. So I was going to reference She Don't Act Like No Christian. It was it's back on October 25th, and I was just being really like transparent as to like, God, why would you, and then not allow me to like do all these things I'm told I'm supposed to do or not to do. And the key is I don't have to act, I just am. And that's when renewal comes in. So that daily renewal, once you make that decision, he is our bread of life. He is our refuge. So you have everything inside of you once you make that decision and continue to make that decision. And that is what will empower you, because that relationship with him, like you're like Ashley J. I mean, somebody can tell me about you all day, every day. Like, oh, let me tell you what you did. But until me and you interface, I'm not going to have a relationship with you. But I don't know you. And so until you know Christ and your identity, I always listen to what the world says. And I have a news flash for you. The world's going to have an opinion, and somebody's going to have something to say. You're not going to please everyone all the time. Sure, and once you get empowered with that, then you are able to do. And I'm going to tell you, the more, because you asked me about the book, when it's going to be done, to try to do things great for the kingdom, the more you better be ready to battle. Yes. What I can tell you is battle everything that God has for you is worth it, but you can only, and so the those days when you try to do it without him, you just wasting your time. And that's okay, because we're human, we're flawed. And that's the thing, I don't want you to worth is not caught up in making a mistake and this and that. And that's why when I will go back to, like I said, being a parent, I don't love my kids any less when they do or go against my teaching. Yeah. But to that unconditional love, and that is the love that he has for us. So that's struggling. It's like you are loved. God gave us and I do like to so what the provision, what I see, the creation. And so I just posted the other day, like, I'm that person watching the lunar eclipse, because I just think that's super cool. Yeah. And I said, okay, first of all, just think about the sun. Like, if you research how it is, and then the moon, I mean, these things are suspended in the air. Yeah. And then the moon and the earth to align, like, yeah, God. So if he can do all of that, right, that is so once you start looking at stuff and seeing God in everything, it's like I'm talking now, like everything was created through him. When you realize how awesome he is, not, and that's what you kind of have to just get to, but you get to that through. So I would just say, if you haven't started, start today. And I really like the analogy that you made about you can always hear about this person,
But until you really get in their face and get to know them, you don't know anything about them. You're just going off of what other people tell you. And that is so true. um because I've had that both naturally and spiritually. Naturally, I've been in situations where I was always hearing about someone, and it wasn't always good stuff. I was always hearing about this particular person, but then when I got in front of that person and we started to talk, it was a completely different story. And what I was hearing was not the truth, because I got to know that person. I took the time to know that person. And the same thing goes for the relationship with God. I intentionally take time out of my day every morning. First of all, I'm going to say I am so not a morning person, but I have made this commitment every single day to wake up at 6, to talk to God, to get to know God. And yeah, I knew him before this, but now, because I am intentionally carving out time for he and I, it's just like with a marriage. You intentionally carve out time for you and your husband, or you and your wife, um to spend time with each other, get intimate, talk about the things maybe you've never talked about before. You intentionally take that time together to get to know one another. By doing that, your relationship, it gets closer, your connection gets stronger, and you guys really get to that place where nobody can get between you. And that's the same thing with your relationship with God. You have to take the time to get to know him, so that nobody can tell you anything different about who God is, because you know him for yourself. You understand him for yourself. And you know the things that he imparts to you in that time together. You know the things that he shows you. Like, you know, all of that. And I'll even say this. There was a time, I've mentioned this before on the show, there was a time when I went on a fast, and it was the first time I fasted in years. And I was on the fast and I was praying, I was talking to the Lord, and all of a sudden he told me how much he loved me. And that broke me down, because that was something I never ever really focused on. Yeah, I worship you because that's what I'm supposed to do. You're my creator. But he took it to another level when he told me that he loved me. So that made me want to keep coming back for more. And from that point on, nobody can tell me that God doesn't love me. Nobody can change my mind about that. So I said all of that to say, for those of you who are watching who may not have your own relationship with him, talk to him, get in his face and spend time with him. Make a daily commitment, just like you commit to watching your favorite TV show. Commit to getting to know God. And the way you know the show and think you know the characters, you will know God, and there's no doubt about knowing him. So I went around the world, but that was my point.
No, it absolutely, absolutely.
So if so do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, well, and we were just saying, through this journey, I did develop a friendship with Jesus, and I am big on friendships. And so I was speaking on, and I don't know if you guys heard me because of the audio earlier, talking about First Corinthians 13, and my husband has always loved me, and he gave me a reflection of is. But if you go to the First Corinthians 12, and one of the things that the Lord has really impressed upon me, like I said, as I'm going through this journey, you guys are going to subscribe at boldfullmoon.com so you know when it drops.
Yes.
When he impressed upon me is that we have to stay connected the vine. So him. So that's John 15. But I did get this from 1 Corinthians 12. So spiritual gifts, the Spirit gives us each gift. Individually, we can only reflect a part of it. We can only be holy of Christ. And that's important because I am big self. I got this. I'm talented. I'm smart. I can do it myself. Really shown me that is not the way. You will not be able to build, replenish. Like I said, I developed that relationship directly, but he will also bless you staying connected to him, and the is a extension of him. So he will, like how Ashley J has this platform, you know, Auntie Roz, and now we're talking, and someone is going to hear what we're talking, changing, something life change is going to happen for them. And so that's important, connected to the body of believers, because you have to be refilled, and only when we're out and do the work that God wants us to do. And when you realize that he will open you up to other people who are friends, and that you can exponentially, you can make an impact in the kingdom. That is one other thing I would say, is like, I'm just seeing revelation as to, like I said, of course, the direct relationship is very, 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 that's key. You got to know him first, because you won't be able to know, because you have a bad encounter with one person or something. I think in my latest Clubhouse, when we were talking about asking for help, that's like my hardest step. But he has told me, for me to get to all that he wants from me, and so it ain't easy. I don't like it. I still don't like it, but I do it because I don't have to. I'm grown, but you know, to seeing the benefit of it, and as you see the benefit, you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute, maybe. So that is something I want to close with, is that Jesus is our God coming to the world to condemn us. He came into the world to save us. We in a relationship with him, but also through others. And when you stay filled of self-love, like, now I don't beat myself up because I'm like exhausted because I try working on somebody else's gift.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Were you finished?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, that's why I will.
Okay. That was good though. I like that. And I too am a person that's like, I'm gonna just do it myself. And yeah, so I get it. I know how hard it is. I do. But I really, really, really appreciate you, Cynthia, for coming on. And we're going to have to have you come back, hopefully on a different day where the audio, everything is working great. But I really appreciate the wisdom that you poured into us, and even the empowering words that you spoke, the words that I was able to catch. You it was great talking to you.
So that was like with your audio. I missed it.
Okay. Well, that means it's a wrap.
But I want people to persevere. We did the best we could, and that's the way life rolls. Sometimes you do the best you can. And if anybody miss anything and you want to, you know, like I said, connect with me on social, you know, DM me, and I will definitely respond.
And is it your name, Cynthia E. Crawford, that they can find you? Or Bold Full Moon?
So for Authentic Existence, follow at Bold Full Moon.
I'm gonna put it in the chat. Okay. Got it. All right. Y'all come back next week. We have another episode. Like I told you earlier, it's kind of something different for the Love Experience show. So I'm really excited about it. But if you want to be part of the discussion, talking about soul ties, DM me or email me. It's ashleyjw@gmail.com, or find me on social media and DM me at it's ashleyjw. So there is only one thing left for us to say, and that is, what is your love experience? Thank you guys for joining us and sticking in there through the technical difficulties, and have an amazing night.